Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy MKS here, back here with part 3 of International Dyslexia Day, and my plans for it and my ideas. It's 11:30 here in the UK, PM. I hope the lighting's all right. I know it probably seems a bit dark behind me, but I do have like 3 lights on altogether, 2 lamps and a light. So anyway, getting to the point, I hope you enjoy this video. And before I start on my third part of my list, ideas number 21 to 30, or thoughts or plans number 21 to 30. I wanted to. I would love to, as soon as possible, bring together a group of dyslexic people. I know I've mentioned this before, but I'd love to bring together a group of dyslexic people to travel to as part of a project, or just generally as part of a project. I would love for dyslexic people and organisations, anyone and any organisation to do with dyslexia, to travel to, or just generally to share our ideas with, whether online or offline or however we can, with Italian football, soccer, calcio, footy, whatever you want to call it. Soccer, as it's called in America, of course, or some other countries, and calcio, as it's called in Italy. Celtic FC and former colonies. I'd love to work with my fellow dyslexics to see what they can do to help me with my plans to benefit Italian football, Celtic FC, libertarianism, supporting people from former colonies, and tackling poverty, alleviating suffering, and spreading peace, love, joy, hope, and happiness in a libertarian way, i.e., without taking away people's choices. So, yeah, I mean, I suppose there are some dyslexics out there who probably are socialists, communists, or whatnot, who might not be interested in libertarian ideas and ideals, but I hope to encourage my fellow dyslexics to support those ideas, as many of them and as many organisations as possible. And I would say maybe even travel to possibly to the Celtic and around the world to promote libertarianism, and all, especially former colonies, so we can do it as a form of reparations and showcase what we can do with our dyslexic strengths to help with reparations and things like that. Anyway, with that being said, the intro did go on a bit long as usual. Here goes. So obviously, as there's another part 3, ideas 21 to 30. I hope all possible dyslexics and those who are interested in the field, for whatever reason, whether it's family members, supporters, or whatever, will enjoy this video and these videos, and share and like, and that good stuff. And I know there are many dyslexic resources out there. I'd love to connect them together. Anyway, here goes number 21. On that note, I would love to connect dyslexics together and talk to my fellow dyslexics on Zoom to discuss your experiences with dyslexia, or people who know dyslexics, or anyone's experience or knowledge of dyslexia, and like how it was in the history, how dyslexic people were treated, especially members of the older generation. But I'd love to discuss, as I said on my Facebook, ideas and thoughts or experiences or things like that with my fellow dyslexics of all ages, really. If they're under 18, obviously it would have to be with their parents' permission, to be interviewed and to be online as well, talk about their experiences now and how it relates to people from the past. So how people who might have lived through like getting canes, getting beaten, physical beatings, or verbal insults or whatever, and how things have changed over time, which I'm sure they have. But many dyslexic students probably still say that they suffer from low self-esteem and being treated badly, and things like that even now. But yeah, dyslexic could talk about their experiences and how things have changed. Number 22, perhaps I should save the one about talking about younger people with dyslexia to talk about more how things have changed. Again, if they're under 18 with their parents' permission. My voice is clear enough, sorry, my cold or flu. I hope you appreciate that. I'm working through a cold or a flu or whatever, but I do enjoy making videos, but I just hope my voice is clear enough. But yeah, I hope people out there appreciate and enjoy my work, or works, or whatever you call it. Anyway, the modern, what things are like for dyslexics and what they could be like in the future. Some people say we'll rule the future. I'd rather we liberate the future, but hopefully dyslexics will be empowered now and into the future. Hopefully new technology could be used to empower us, and also how the world is going into a future sort of way. Our creative brains might be more apt for the future, and I hope we can build businesses together and things like that. Number 23, I'd love to see what businesses councils, politicians, and organisations and whatnot can do to support us, what supporters and allies can do for dyslexics, what they can do to learn about us and have sympathy and empathy for us, and the struggles we go through, what they put us through. Just kidding. But on a serious note, I'd love to see what people can do to fundraise for us. As I said in part 2, point number 17, I would love to see investors investing into dyslexics. Number 24, obviously, is international, worldwide. So I'd love to see what they're doing in different parts of the world and what different organisations, individuals and organisations and nations are doing for dyslexics, which nations support dyslexics the most, and things like that. I'd also love to promote dyslexic of the day. And today I'm thinking like, or tonight really now it is, but I was thinking of Henry Winkler, who starred in as the Fonz in the Happy Days. And a while back, some people might remember that sitcom. I was thinking, unfortunately, his school days or younger days probably weren't as so happy days. Although, even as dyslexics, obviously we have moments where we do enjoy ourselves and things like that. But in school, it can be a struggle. I think he talked about how his school was a struggle. But maybe he'll say at home he was feeling a lot better. But I'm sure he will say that his younger days were a nightmare. But I would love for people to find out about Henry Winkler, who played the Fonz, played a cool Italian guy. When I was at school, when I was at high school, I nearly said what high school I went to then, what sixth form college, but I don't want to mention just in case. Data protection, I have to be a bit careful. But when I was in a sociology class, someone used to say, one of my class, well, they weren't really a mate of mine, but they used to say I look like the Fonz, Henry Winkler, which is quite ironic. I didn't know he was dyslexic back then. I used to hate being dyslexic, if I remember correctly, or certainly I didn't have much confidence, I'm sure, in being dyslexic, especially at high school and probably at college as well. I was very shy, but I used to wear a leather jacket, and this girl who was in my class used to say, obviously she's not a girl anymore, but she used to say, you look like the Fonz. And I was very shy, but I was kind of flattered, but I was very shy. But apparently, as a side note, I know it's not dyslexia related, but she said she used to fancy me, but my mate told me she only said that to make me shy. So I'm not sure if that was my autism or dyspraxia that made me really shy or whatnot, but I was kind of flattered. But anyway, that's a side note, sorry. But yeah, apparently she only said that to make me nervous or shy because she knew I'd be shy. One of my mates told me. But yeah, quite coincidentally, the point of that story was apparently the Fonz used to look like me or vice versa, but I didn't even know he was dyslexic. So that's quite a strange coincidence when he wore his leather jacket and I wore my leather jacket like him. Anyway, moving on, number 25. Many events have been held in places like Sweden, America, the UK, and elsewhere. But me personally, I have biases, prejudices, or whatever you call them, whatever the difference is. I use those terms interchangeably, in favour of republics, as I often say. And I suppose a lot of royalists, again, I mentioned this on my Facebook. I did want to keep these different, but I do have a lot of patterns and things like that. What numbers remind me of certain things I have to say. But there are quite a few dyslexic royals, like Princess Beatrice here in the UK, and some in Sweden. Oh, I think all the Swedish royal family, and I think the Norwegian princess or something like that is, or prince is also, I think it's the princess who's dyslexic, if I'm not mistaken, and also probably a few other royals as well, and also the president or prime minister, I don't know which one it is, but the leader of Norway, who is a woman, but I can't remember her name, Norma Solberg or something like that, or Laura Solberg, something like that anyway, who is also dyslexic. But as I say, I'm normally biased in favour of republic, so that's quite a dilemma for me. Number 26, as I say, I would love to do a lot for reparations and showcase what we as dyslexics can do for former colonies, and we can help them. It could be a form of reparations by supporting dyslexics, especially in those nations, or how dyslexics can support people in those nations just generally. Number 27, I'd love to have like a list of the top contributors to dyslexics, whether that's people who invest in dyslexic startups or businesses, or just generally do something to raise awareness of and empowerment of dyslexics. In investing and raise awareness. I suppose a dilemma is it could be like people who employ most dyslexics or whatnot, but I'd love us to create our own network where we all work together in business. Maybe that's one of my delusions. I talked about how I'd love for dyslexics to get into politics, as many dyslexics as possible, and even a fellow dyslexic said to me, that's delusional if you want all dyslexics to be a political class. But I suppose I meant as many as possible to get involved in politics, at least like lobbying and things like that. But yeah, maybe not all, but maybe as many as possible. But yeah, I'd love for us to invest in business and learn about business together. And maybe those who invest in us and train us could get acknowledgements whether they're dyslexic or not. Maybe they could get tax exemptions as a form of reward as well. But I'd love to have a list of our top contributors and supporters. Like there could be awards, award ceremonies, and other forms of rewarding those who support us. Maybe even a wall and stroke or hall of fame for those who support dyslexics and those who are dyslexic themselves who have achieved a lot, including helping their fellow dyslexics. Maybe one day I'll be on that list, I don't know. But number 28, I hope that through these videos and sharing other links and things like that, and other videos that people have created and YouTube searches and people learning about famous dyslexics, success stories and whatnot amongst dyslexics and that sort of thing, hopefully I'll change, me and others will change perceptions. The Dyslexic Advantage made by dyslexia and others have done some great work in terms of raising the profile of dyslexics and the positive side of dyslexia, so hopefully those will change a lot of perceptions out there, as say about dyslexia, and maybe there could be a list, as say, of the top nations that support dyslexics, like what countries do for their dyslexic students, and to raise awareness of dyslexia, support dyslexics, and also politicians, councillors, and whatnot. Number 29, I'd love to promote racial or ethnic diversity, multiculturalism, and dyslexia, like the Yale Centre for Dyslexia and Creativity have done, and hope more organisations do so. And there can be more role models where there are POC, people of colour with dyslexia, and women with dyslexia, women and girls with dyslexia. So it can be more representative, because a lot of the role models with dyslexia are white male. So it'd be cool to see more women, girls, POC, and possibly people with physical disabilities who have achieved with dyslexia in the future, hopefully. And I'd love to help them and raise awareness for, raise support for them. Number 30, I said 13 then. I would love to say, I know I talk about the Dyslexic Millionaires and even Dyslexic Billionaires Network, especially, in fact, more so the latter. But I would love for, if there was a Dyslexic Billionaires Network, which I've talked before about, I would love for them to find ways to invest in and fund more women and physically disabled people with dyslexia, who not only have dyslexia but also have physical disabilities, more women as well, and more POC, people of colour with dyslexia, doing well in the future, as well as like investing in time for All Celtic and other things like that, which I've talked before about. So yeah, hopefully I covered some good ideas, and hopefully you can hear me properly. As I'm a bit bugged up, but as ever, I'd love to know what you think. And I know, as I say, there's so many different links and organisations and associations out there, and there's so much information about dyslexia. So I hope more people find out about such as only 24 hours in a day. So I probably shouldn't share too much info either, because because that could probably be seen as spam. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling and I'm out. Peace and love.